Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Chong.
Hi, I'm Monty Panasa, and welcome to
At Home with Joan and Monty. Today's show promises to be an exciting one. It's all about actors, actresses, film directors, and producers. We're going to introduce our first guest, Rayna Campbell. Hello, Rayna. How are you?
Hi, Joan. Hi, Monty. I'm well. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're looking absolutely fabulous, and I must say you are a very talented actress.
Hi, Rayna. Can you tell us how did you get into acting?
Yes, well, I originally was at university studying marketing, and then a friend of mine took me to see Fame, the musical, and I was enchanted. I fell in love, and I thought, that's what I want to do instead. So I told my parents, and my mum said, you have to finish your degree first, then you can do what you like. So I did. And then I decided that I would go to drama school for 3 years. And at that time, most of the Black actresses that looked like me were in Hollywood. So I'm talking about people like Whoopi Goldberg. And so I thought I should go to America and train there. And so I raised some money to go to drama school. And then I won a scholarship from the New York Times. And then the actress Kathy Tyson and the late Victoria Wood, they also sponsored me to go to drama school. So I was able to train there.
Which drama school did you attend?
I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, and it was fabulous. And I must say as well, my mum, she worked as an anaesthetist at the time. And so she got all the anaesthetists and doctors to sponsor me as well.
And you've been recently in the movie of Extraction.
Yeah.
Now tell us more about this movie.
It's about a Black op mercenary who is given one last assignment to go and find the son of an Indian millionaire. And so it's sort of like an action thriller with him trying to extract this boy and get him back to safety.
You worked with some Bollywood actors and actresses. I know some actors in this industry and they go, it's difficult to mix. But you've made a success of it. What is it like working with Bollywood actors?
They're actually very grounded. Usually, if they're A-listers, you find that most of them are very grounded and they're really about their craft. So they're team players, especially like I'm talking about Chris as I'm telling you this. He came onto set. He gave me a big bear hug, introduced himself to everyone, made sure that we were all up to speed. And then he was like, okay, team, like we're working today. And that was it. He was just all about the work. So there were no diva moments or it was just all about the work. So it's fine.
But as a woman of color, did you experience any difficulties as a woman of color within the movie and film industry?
So with that particular movie or in general?
In general.
Yeah, of course. So there's a general consensus that the darker you are, you can't play the lead roles, you can play supporting roles or the best friend. And my mind doesn't accept those connotations. So I remember I got cast as the lead in a film called Layla Farie. And they said this might be difficult to sell in some territories because they're not used to seeing an actress your color as the lead. And it was quite a phenomenon. People would say, how did you get this part? And it's so unusual to see someone your color on the cover of a film poster, but it's also refreshing. And they had difficulty getting it shown in the UK, which was disappointing because it showed in film festivals and in independent cinemas in many countries around the world, India, South America, Africa, America, except for the UK. So I was very disappointed that the industry weren't more open-minded about things like that.
The reason that, the lapse of honor, I think, didn't happen in England, because it was a hard-hitting, intense drama. Some of the issues that you had was, you know, very sort of, was going to cause a lot of uproar back then. And I think because of that, it got declined. And is that the case?
Sometimes you feel like there's room for one or two, and the others you must wait in the room until there's room for, you know, it can be frustrating because Laps of Honor actually did well on the film festival circuit, and the types of audience it would attract were not the type of audience I had originally intended it for. But
yeah, because
it won't sell. Nobody will be, you know, the cast is predominantly BAME. So is anyone want to go to the cinema? Which is ridiculous because we've seen films with predominantly black casts do really well.
But that movie was to do with teenage pregnancy, domestic and gang violence. Now, movies such like that, wouldn't it cause gang violence in the cinemas like some of the movies that got banned?
No, because the main thread of the story is a love story, so it doesn't glamorize violence like some movies do, where you might get riled up because of what's happening, the sort of action. Laps of Honor is predominantly a love story, and then the B and C stories are about the gangs. But it's done in a way where it's like, if you do bad things happen to you. It doesn't in any way glamorize any of the violence.
Yes. It was a show with aim and a purpose, and I think it fulfilled that role, you know. It still had a positive element that something beautiful could come out of the ghetto. Basically, that's what it was. And at this time, I would love to introduce our next guest. His name is Mark J.T. Griffin. Hello, Mark. We haven't forgotten you. How are you?
No, I knew that. Hi, Joan. Hi, Rayna. Hi, Monty. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Now, Mark, can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
I am the director, producer, writer of a film called Lawrence After Arabia. It's film tells the story of the last years of T. Lawrence of Arabia. You remember the film with David Lean back in the 60s with Peter O'Toole. We finished the story. Essentially, after he left the Air Force, was being sucked into things he didn't really want to be sucked into. Spying and all sorts of things, and he eventually had a motorcycle accident, and at the time everybody thought it was not an accident, it was possibly an assassination, because he was getting involved with Mosley and the Black Shirts, he was getting involved with the Arabs again, he was getting involved with Churchill to do new jobs, possibly to reorganize the Secret Service. So there was a lot of things. There was a lot of motives to possibly get rid of him. So it's a fantastic story, and I've got a great cast, great crew, very small team in terms of crew, but no, it's been a lot of fun to make.
Yeah. So, Mark, why did you want to make a movie of such kind? Is it a certain message you want to give across?
Well, it kind of dates back a long while. I was about 10 years old, and I went into a little old Saxon church in a market town called Wareham down in Dorset in the UK. And I was looking at an effigy, a sculpture of T. Lawrence, dressed as an Arab prince. And there was a guy in there, curator, cleaning it. And I said to him, you know, what happened to him? And he said, well, he died after a motorcycle accident, a motorcycle incident. And I said, was it an accident? And he just said, not all accidents are accidents. And he winked, and that kind of started me off. And I spent from about the year I was 10 years old right through till about 10 years ago. So I'd be about late 40s, writing about him and writing a radio play originally. Then I wrote the screenplay following on, and it's taken from the beginnings of the screenplay to getting it onto film has taken about 10 years.
10 years it took you to get this on film.
I mean, yeah, well,
Wow.
as Rayna will tell you, it's very difficult to get a screenplay to the screen. I put it out to all the big. I sent the original screenplay to about 60 companies to see if I could get support, and there was still a lot of from the big companies. I tended to get a legal letter back saying, "Please don't ever send us screenplays ever again. You can't do that. You need an agent." And of course, you can't get an agent unless you've been published. And blah blah blah. So I then I got some really nice letters back from small production companies, British production companies, who were very positive about it, but said, you know, their production projects were full. So I said, after 2 years of knocking on doors, eventually I said, well, unless I raise the money somehow, it's never going to get made. So eventually I basically saved.
How difficult is it to raise money for films? You know, there's one movie which Rayna Campbell's in, a budget 65 million, and yours is 120,000. And look at the contrast.
Well, exactly. The thing is, if you take the big companies like Universal, Paramount, Sony, all of those, when they have all the power, all the money behind the film, and there's an awful lot of people involved in making it. What I had to do to get it to film was raise as much money as I could myself. Most of it is personal investment, frankly.
But 120,000, like what? Like I would want to buy a house.
Yeah.
How are you going to make your money on this?
You don't want to talk to my wife. That's all. That's
She didn't start issuing you with legal letters, didn't she? Did she start issuing you with legal letters, Mark?
What do you mean shopping? My shopping budget for the month is £10.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we tried to do some crowdfunding, but again, it's a very risky investment. I mean, people are not getting their money back, and it was right at the beginning of the project. We raised about £5,000 for the whole film through crowdfunding, so tiny amount. I mean, luckily, I'm at that age where I had salted some money away anyway, so that money's been used to make a project that would never see the light of day. But I've got a good bunch of supporters on social media and the website.
Good bunch of supporters. I need supporters like you, mate. You can raise me £120,000.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
You must have a strong passion, strong desire to be in the film industry, and you want this film to be a hit. It's a very very. How difficult is it to be successful in the film industry market?
Well, I have one of the things I did just before the lockdown. I went in February was something that you might have heard of, Rayna, called the Berlinale, and the Berlinale is the it's the Berlin Film Festival, and wrapped around it is a sales and distribution piece. So if you've got a film that you're trying to sell, then the Berlinale is one of the places to go. And I managed over just 3 days to try and touch and talk to, crikey, it must have been about 60 different people, and try and push the movie. And in general, unless you've got some big names attached to your film, again, they're not keen unless you're a big name yourself. I mean, I've managed to get streaming kind of sorted out now. So once the screenings, the theatrical screenings, which we're hoping September, October will go, we're trying to get it on general release around the world, just in a few cinemas, because it's a small independent film. But it'll go to streaming probably November through Amazon, Netflix, and the usual services. So that was a big thumbs up from Berlinale. Premiere's now supposed to be September 18th. Again, same venue at the Lighthouse Pool, which is kind of the centre of where the Lawrence fans are, if you like, in Dorset. And then after that, I'm doing some special screenings, 20 special screenings around the UK, and I'll do a stand-up director Q&A after the screening. That'll help get the word out about the movie.
How difficult is it to get it from movie ready to distributing it to the cinemas?
Okay, well, it's I mean, a lot of the work is really done in what's called pre-production, and in pre-production, there you become, for want of a better word, a project manager, because you need to organise what actors you need, the money you need, the locations you need. You've got to make sure the script is absolutely solid, ready for the shoot. Then you have to plan each scene and when you're going to shoot it and the actors you need at a certain time. So it's a huge project management piece. Now, luckily, that's my sort of my day job, or it used to be my day job, was project management. So there's an awful lot of work putting it all together to make sure that you're shooting a simple screen with maybe 2 actors. So you need the 2 actors, the location, the crew, food to feed them during the day, the cameras, the sound people, all the kit and equipment. So there's a lot of going into it, but it's the sort of thing I've done in different guises before. It was my day job going back 30 years or so, and then I've just applied those skills doing it. I'd done some theatre direction before, so that helped. But I mean, the big piece of big help was having a guy called Simon Lawrence, no relation, but he was my director of photography, and he helped an awful lot with what I would call the technical aspects of filming. The production was actually a lot of fun. The production, actually, filming was great fun. Having a group of people all wanting to do the same thing and get the film into the camera. It's all done digitally now, and then the hard work is the editing. It probably took us. We finished filming June 2019, and then it took us probably 4 or 5 months to get what I call a theatrical edit ready. So a lot of work to do the editing.
So, Rayna, you would have that experience as well. How is it? How did you manage to get shows like Tangled, which you directed, and the other films that you have directed onto the big screen?
My personal experience was that I had a private investor. And Monty, you'll laugh at this, because if you think Mark's budget was low, I actually made Laps of Honor for £10,000.
You made Laps of Honor in £10,000. You know,
wow.
Rayna, Laps of Honor is to do with the Manchester Moss side. You're always involved with like controversial, topics. I'm loving it. I'm loving the movies you're involved with.
You make it work, because my thought was, like Mark was saying, you're not getting the funding from the public funding bodies. So if I'm going to make something, I'm going to have to do it myself. And that was the money that we had for the production. So we had some more for pre-production and a bit more for post. But the actual production was only 10,000. And I thought, I'll film it in Manchester, because we can get a lot of in-kind services. So, for example, my grandmother and my father, they were in charge of cooking. I had a Costco card that we used to get all the food. We rented a house, a student house, and that doubled up as the production base and the set, some of the set. So we were doing things like that to cut costs. Guerrilla style.
Guerrilla style.
Good. I like that. If you can.
I love it. Yeah.
Rayna, you're involved in coaching actors and actresses. Tell us a bit about that.
So there was a period of 6 years where I didn't work, and I I was having conversations with God. What is going on? I'm auditioning for really good stuff, and I'm always getting no, 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 no. And then I happened across this teacher who I worked with for 6 months. And she made me realize how my mindset was stopping me and hindering me. So I would have thoughts like, no one's going to hire me because I have a Manchester accent and all the people on TV are posh. Or no one's going to hire me because I went to drama school in America and you have to have gone to school in England. So these thoughts that I strongly believed in, I was going into auditions basically going, you're not going to hire me. And that was happening. So she helped me to turn my beliefs around and transform them. And then that was the time my career literally did a 180. And I was just sort of like, oh my gosh, this is how powerful our minds are. And then I just went deep into all this mindset work. And then I would find myself coaching my friends. And then I thought, I should be charging for this. Like, it's a lot of work, but then they're getting results. So then I just started beta testing it. And then it became a business. And the people that I'm working with at the moment, we are in our penultimate week. They are doing amazingly well. I love the work. And it helps me as an artist when I'm coaching them. Sort of like, I coach them and I keep reminding myself of my own beliefs.
So yeah, Mark, what I wanted to know was, there's a lot of people out there who want to make it in the big wild, world, and you talk about sabotaging your own beliefs. Sometimes do we get into this habitual state where we just have the same conversations with ourselves and we don't even realize it, but they're affecting our subconscious and our conscious state?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I do, if you every year at the beginning of the year, it's almost like a ritual for me. Is I do goal setting. So I look at my life and I go, well, health-wise, I need to do this. Financially, I need to do this. In terms of my home, I need to do this. So over about 7 different areas of my life, I set goals. And they are not necessarily achievable, but it's funny how even when they're not achievable, you suddenly realize they've been achieved. So that's the first thing. Set goals. Make sure that you set goals and make sure you look at them every day. If you can, I have mine by my office desk, and every day I see them and go, oh yeah, I need to work on that one a little bit more. So that I think is very important. It's essential if you want to try and achieve in the world. And it doesn't, if you want, it's all down to desire as well, isn't it? If you want to do anything without the desire to do it, you're not going to achieve it. So I think those things are very important.
You produced for radio An Evening with Spike Milligan, which was adapted for radio and broadcast in 2018. What inspired you to do it?
Back to childhood, I suppose. I grew up with by being given by my granddad some Spike Milligan books. They're just poetry books, and they were so funny, and they were sort of the foundation of my sense of humour. And I used to learn these poems, very, very short little poems. And I kind of followed his life and just thought he was very inspirational. So I wrote what I call a biography, if you like, of his life, wrapped around his poetry. So it was, I mean, in terms of, it was relatively easy to write because I knew his stuff so well. And it was originally it was done for stage, and then it was adapted for radio with a bit of editing. So yeah, it was Spike Milligan is very funny. I can do a Spike Milligan poem if you want. 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Please do.
Quick Spike Milligan. Said the mother turned to the baby turn, would you like a brother? Said the baby turned to the mother turn, yes, one good turn deserves another. That's Spike Milligan.
I like
All
that.
short stuff.
I'm a spin bowler and it has turn in it. That's why I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Just for you, Monty. just for you.
Okay, Rayna, can you tell us about flow coaching for artists?
Yeah, so what I do essentially is I look at the artist as an energetic being, and I'm able to see what is blocking them subconsciously, which they may not be aware of. And then I help them to delete those blocks and then align them with what they want. And then teach them how to keep attracting what they want consistently.
Can you see that? Woo.
Yes. Tell us about the award.
Oh, okay. This is, if you look on IMDb, you'll see the film has now won lots and lots and lots of awards. We've been into all sorts of festivals, and this one is from the Florence Film Festival, and it's for best film. So we are just so happy about this. It's only arrived in the last. It's very gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't think you should be wearing underpants?
Yeah.
Very shiny. You don't think you should be wearing underpants as well? You sort of have to. But he's a David. He's a David.
Well, we all know about underpants.
There you go. I'll put him there. Put him there. But he's we've won Los Angeles Film Awards. We've won Kosice, which is in the Czech Republic. We won let's see, the Las Vegas Film Awards. We won a clutch there, so it's really good. I mean, it's the great thing is it's getting, the film is getting some exposure at film festivals because of and the film festivals are still going ahead. They're all virtual, but they're still happening. So we're very pleased with this. I mean, this is down to having a fantastic team. So I'll take him off to stage right.
What about you, Rayna? What can we look forward to seeing you in the future?
So I have a short film that I shot last year that I play a former dancer who has Pick's disease, which is a form of dementia. So she's slowly deteriorating and at the same time separating from her husband. So that was funded by the BFI. So that I'm looking forward to seeing the end result of that. And I'm working with a few producers and writers, just developing ideas for screenplays and TV series. And then, yeah, still coaching my artists and auditioning now. Auditions have started back, all virtual. So that's what I'm up to at the moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rayna, and thank you, Mark, for coming on to our show. And thank you so much for my co-host, Monty.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed your openness, and we had a lot of fun on here, a lot of laughter. So I hope you guys, enjoyed the show, and I will definitely be looking out for your movies for sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Monty. Thanks, Joan.
See you
Thanks,
next time on the At Home with Joan and Monty talk show. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.